Welcome guys, and we're finally back to these presentation kind of videos. I would guess you say presentation kind of videos, but we're finally back. It is low-key happy to be back. So we're finally back with the presentation videos, and I'm gonna be honest, we're gonna recap into basically everything we learned, but I think I'm gonna do it way better. Last time I was like, what's up guys, blah 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 blah, but this time I want to add a bit more energy. Don't seem boring. And something new, yes, is a tie. Added a tie. All right. And oh, one more thing. All right. Now we are officially ready. Now we're ready to give a presentation. Now we are ready to convince our parents, brothers, sisters, family member, friends. Actually, no. You convince yourself that this trading is gonna work. This trading, the what you're learning is gonna work. It's gonna work, all right? I promise you it's gonna work. This thing is killing my neck. I'm not gonna lie, I hate this shit. But let's go over it. Today, we're gonna go over patterns, all right? From the very start, from the very beginning. No, but the very beginning is actual candles, all right? We have to learn about candles, but I'll go over that in the next video, I'm not gonna lie. But that's gonna be a quick, short video, but we're gonna go over that again so we can basically understand it. But assuming you already know what a candle is, how candles are made, how candles are formed, we're gonna go on to the next thing, which is patterns. We need to understand patterns. Now, one simple thing is that the market makes patterns. All right, there's always patterns in the market. It will always do something and then do that again and again and again and do something very similar, and that way we can profit off of it. Because if we see that pattern is forming, let's just say that the pattern, the stock market is forming a McDonald's sign, then we can see that, oh, boom, boom, we know it's going to go down. All right, it's because it's forming that McDonald's sign, so we're going to profit off of that. If we can see patterns, we can tell the future. If we can tell the future, we can bet on it. That's what the market is. All right, but you can't always tell the future. It's just a great analysis on what is going to happen. All right, and patterns is one of the ways to help. You can do quant trading, you can do ICT, you can do or trade price action, or you can trade where volume is. There's different ways to trade it. So we'll go over patterns real quick. All right, patterns, trend lines, diagonal or horizontal lines drawn on the chart to help predict where price is going. All right, so you can draw a horizontal line or a vertical line, not really vertical because price goes like that, or diagonal line like up or down to see where price is going. If it's going like this up, diagonal line going to the up, then we can know that price is going to go up, and our best bet is to long that so we can profit it going up. All right, very simple. It's very easy. So let's go over it. And an uptrend, we have highs and lows. All right, with an uptrend, we have low, higher low, higher low, higher low, high, higher high, higher high, higher high. All right, the high, and then we have the next high, which is higher than the previous high, making it a higher high. If that high is higher than the previous high, then it is a higher high. Why? Because it's higher than the previous high. Very complicated, but very simple at the same time. All right. We can see that a blue candle forms a high. Then there's a red candle, officially making this a high. All right. On the charts, you'll see that a lot. You'll see that on the 1 minute, on the 5 minute, on every minute, hourly, daily. All right. After a red candle. Now there can be multiple highs where you're confused on which one is a high, but basically you can then go into the 5 minute where it forms 5 minute candles, showing you where the high could really be. All right, if there's a lot of highs and you're stuck on which is the high, but you can see this formed a high, then a red candle, then a blue candle came in, formed, and you can see that this candle formed above the wick, breaking the wick. All right, not the body right there, but the wick, the very top, and it formed a candle body, not a wick, but a candle body, making it a higher high. So that next candle in the wick, the top of the wick, is now the new higher high. All right, that is an uptrend. Now let's go over a downtrend. A downtrend, we have high, lower high, lower high, lower high, low, lower low, lower low, lower low. In downtrends, we have lower low, lower high, lower high, lower high. Because the high was lower than the previous high, and the low was lower than the previous low. All right, something I almost forgot to mention: in an uptrend, the low is higher than the previous low. But let's go down. Let's go back to downtrend. Sorry to make that a bit confusing. All right, sorry to do that to you. But downtrend, we have a low right here, the very bottom of that red candle. Right there, you have a low. Then we have a blue candle, officially making this a low. If this was a red candle and this red candle in the middle was lower, then that would be the low. If the next candle was a blue candle, officially making that the low. If it's at the very bottom, very low, and then we have a blue candle, if that blue candle's wick is lower than the red candle's wick, that is not a low. The blue candle is not a low. Only the red candle is a low. All right. But right here we have a low. Then a blue candle, officially making this a low. Then you can see a body candle is formed, breaking the very bottom wick low, making a lower low. All right. It's a bit tricky to understand, but it's very simple at the same time. So I hope you guys can understand it. Let's go over to how can we really use this? How can this really help? How can we establish something that we can then use for the market? All right. Now, this is one step to my strategy. All right, I'm going to go over my strategy in very different videos so you can easily understand it and maybe copy my strategy and then be profitable. Because I think my strategy is profitable. I am profitable. So if I'm profitable and I'm listening to every rule of my strategy, and if you do the same thing, listen to every rule of your strategy, then you in turn might be profitable as well. It only depends on you, not the strategy. All right, so let's go over it. All of this helps build a trend, which then helps see when a breakout or reversal, because we do reversal trading, is going to happen. When it goes down, we want to see if we want to bet on it to go back up so we can profit of it going up. All right. So let's go over it. On a downtrend, we have higher low. No, sorry. On a downtrend, we have lower high, lower high, lower high, and lower low, lower low, lower low. We're going to focus on the lower high, all right? On a downtrend, we're going to focus on the lower high. Once the lower high is broke, forming a higher high, broke the most recent high, forming a higher high, which cannot happen in a downtrend. A higher high cannot have a downtrend cannot have a higher high. It is only formed with lower highs because the high is lower than the previous high. Exactly. So when we have a higher high, that's a break of structure, what we're going to go over very soon. But that means we're not in a downtrend. So we just broke out or reversed. Now let's go over to an uptrend. With an uptrend, we have higher high, higher high, higher high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Sorry. Higher high, higher low, higher low, higher low. Now, for a downtrend, since we have higher lows, we're going to focus on the most recent low. As you can see on this right here, on this uptrend, the most recent low was broke, forming a lower low. And we cannot have a lower low in a uptrend. Why? Because an uptrend is formed with a higher low. All right, so you can see broke the most recent low, forming a lower low, which cannot happen in an uptrend. We just went over that it cannot happen in an uptrend. Uptrends can only be formed with higher lows. All right, and so since we made a lower low, a breakout or reversal just happened. All right, so this is patterns you really want to focus on, really want to see patterns that can help us determine if there's a reversal or a breakout, so that we can profit off of it and just win money. All right, but it isn't about winning money, it's about being right. If you can be right, then because anyone can win money. All right, they can just go in with their balls in their hand and just be like, oh, let me learn that bit for it. Like, no. All right, we want to be correct. If we say it's gonna go up and we prove data and examples and reasoning behind it, then we are essentially correct and we are essentially going to profit off of it later on. All right, so that's patterns. we're gonna go over a lot of more stuff. These videos I'll try to do daily, but sometimes they'll be like once every 2 days or once every 3 days. I'll have to see. But yeah, that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm glad to be back, and that's about it. Peace.